And welcome back. Today I'd like to share a discourse about non-attachment, Vairagya. So let's get into it. This discourse is taken from Treading the Broad Path of Spirituality. Everything in this universe is characterized by certain colors. Knowingly or unknowingly, human beings are attracted by these colors. Some, such as green and chocolate brown, are very pleasing to the human eye. Color has a tremendous influence on everything. When the human mind becomes strong enough not to be affected by any color, it is called Vairagya, or renunciation. Renunciation does not mean giving up everything and going into seclusion. It is not an escapist tendency. Fundamentally, it means not to be influenced by any color. It can be compared with certain fishes who live in the muddy depths of ponds and yet never get smeared with mud. This psychic attitude is called Vairagya. When is one established in such a psychic feeling? When one realizes that those objects whose colors have so far influenced you are not at all permanent. Visible today, they will disappear tomorrow. One realizes, if I allow them to influence my mind today, I will feel acute pain when they disappear in future. So, in no stage of my life should I allow the colors of those objects to influence my mind. One should always live in harmony with Satya, the supreme truth, which is the only faithful friend a human being can have. The very nature of the mind is to seek an object. Without its object, the mind cannot maintain its existence. Those who do not do good deeds will surely do some misdeeds. This is the general rule. So those who don't allow material objects to color their minds will have to associate with something non-material. This non-material entity is Paramapurusha, who was in the past, who is in the present, and who will remain in the future. He is the only entity which exists. So it was a good reminder to see the importance and the impact that color has on our mind. Color has a tremendous influence on everything. And detachment means not to be influenced by any color. So this is a good reminder about the importance of our practice of offering the colors of our mind. And after I read this discourse, I was encouraged that by putting more effort and more care into offering the colors of my mind. So let me briefly describe the practice. After meditation, we try to remember what was the color of the primary thing which was distracting during that meditation, or maybe you're struggling with some attachment or distraction in your life at this point in time. Does that distraction or does that attraction have a particular color? If it does, the color of that, if you can surrender the color of that, it can help free you from that attraction. So after reading this discourse, it gave me a sense of encouragement that if I put more effort into really identifying the color of what is distracting me, then that will help a lot. And I immediately felt some kind of sense that, yes, it does do that. So put effort. If you want to develop this feeling of attachment, then color is important. Try to identify the color and offer that color at the end of the meditation. I didn't complete saying what that practice was. So we identify the color and some other qualities of the object, maybe its texture, maybe if it has a smell or fragrance. And we try to put those qualities into a beautiful lotus flower. So now you have a lotus flower with the color of your object of attraction, with its texture, with its fragrance. And then you offer that color to the divine. And there are some certain mantras that we do, that we say when we make that offering. Maybe I'll put a link to that later on when I look at the video. So that is one way to help develop non-attachment. And another one is to contemplate how the impermanence of what you're attracted to. When one realizes that those objects whose colors have so far influenced you are not at all permanent. Visible today, they will disappear tomorrow. So frequently remind yourself about the impermanence of everything. And that may help you with that particular attraction. But the more one remembers the general impermanence of the world, I think the more it gives us a sense of freedom, especially freedom from fear. So if you're detached, you are remembering that everything is impermanent, if you have this feeling of detachment, then one doesn't fear losing something. Right? And I didn't read the whole discourse, but in other parts of this discourse, it says that vairagya is, if you have vairagya, if you have non-attachment, you will be free from all fear because you're not worried about losing anything. Everything is impermanent and you are attached to the only thing which is impermanent and which you can't lose. And that, of course, is Paramapurusha, the supreme consciousness, or another word is Satya, that which is always there, the truth which is always present. So one should always live in harmony with Satya, the supreme truth, which is the only faithful friend a human being can have. And how do we live in harmony with the supreme truth? I think the simplest way is to constantly remember our mantra. So that keeps us in contact with something which is always present, which is infinite, which is capable of giving us not temporary and not incomplete satisfaction, but permanent and total satisfaction. So if we always remember our mantra and always keep attached to that thought of the eternal and the infinite, then we will always be engaged with a source of satisfaction which never cuts out and never runs short. It's more subtle, it's more difficult to catch. But if you train yourself to remember the mantra, to keep your mind in that direction, then it's far from impossible. And then another useful phrase in here was that the very nature of the mind is to seek an object. Without its object, the mind cannot maintain its existence. Those who do not do good deeds will surely do some misdeeds. So here it's suggesting that non-attachment is not simply about pushing away or rejecting the things of the world which attract you. It's more about keeping your mind busy with the non-material, right? Keeping your mind busy with something good. If you simply push away things and don't replace it with something else, and don't give something else for the mind to be busy with, because the mind always needs an object, it will come rushing back to those things that you may be harmful for you, maybe not good, right? So those who do not do good deeds, if you're not busy with doing something good, will surely do some misdeeds, right? So here it's very practical suggestion. Keep yourself busy with something good. The main thing it's talking about is keep yourself busy with thinking about the Supreme Consciousness. But there are other things that we can keep ourselves busy with. For example, creative pursuits, artistic pursuits, finding some way of doing social service which you enjoy, which is satisfying for you, which uses your talents, which employs you creatively, right? We can do service to others, and we can keep ourselves busy with kind of forms of service which don't really utilize our talents that much and which aren't that satisfying. So I think it's important to find some way that you can do service that uses your capacities and is therefore stimulating and interesting. And the more you keep yourself busy with that kind of activity, the less the mind will be satisfied, and the less the mind will be diverted towards things which are harmful or not good, either for yourself or for other people. So primarily, keep yourself busy with remembering your mantra, with thinking about the Supreme Consciousness. But secondarily, also fill your life with creative activities or some types of service-oriented activities which are fulfilling for you. And that keeps the mind busy and prevents it from getting occupied with bad things. I found myself that I tend to get into difficulties, not during the week when I'm busy with my work and so forth, but if I'm tired and on the weekend and I don't choose any particularly interesting thing to keep my mind busy, then that's the time when I might have, more chance of my mind going towards something which is either not good for me or not good for others. So there it is, non-attachment, vairagya, what an impact colors have on our life, the importance of surrendering, identifying those colors and surrendering them, the importance of remembering the impermanence of things and finding freedom by remembering that impermanence, the importance of being attached to what is, to replacing that attachment for the impermanent with focus on the permanent, the eternal. Thank you for joining. I hope you found that interesting and useful. Namaskar.